And welcome to the Super Fun Awesome Happy Time Pedal Show. My name is Gabor.
G'day, welcome along. I'm Alex, and we're going to check out the 2 notes Torpedo Captor X today.
Yes, it'll be flying all over your screen right now. So it should say a big thank you to the awesome people at 2 Notes and at Innovative Music here in Australia for sending this out to us. And hello to Guillaume, bonjour, to Le Guillaume from Le 2 Notes. For sending this to us, and you'll be seeing a lot more of this in future. It'll be, running with our amps and all that stuff in future demos. But this is today just looking, it's sort of a quick overview generally at what the 2 Notes Torpedo Captor X is all about.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Cool. So this is meant to go between your amp and a speaker cabinet, or just between your amp and the outside world.
A recording interface, or yes,
or PA system. So
it's multiple things. So basically, it's a load box. So you can technically, well, at the moment, for example, so we're using you can't see it; it's off screen here, but we're using the Cherrytone OTS Mini 20 head, and we don't have a speaker connected to it. We're just going straight into this, and we're using it as a load box to keep the head safely loaded. And then we're using the speaker emulation built into it, which there's a screen grab of it as well. So that's what we'll see more of that as well. You can also put third-party IRs into it if you so choose. And if you're running it into a speaker, you also have a 3-way toggle switch in the back where you can actually attenuate the signal. So you can have it at full volume, at slightly less volume, and at lower volume. I think they call it Stadium, Studio, Living Room or something like that. It's 3 settings. It's one of those things. So it attenuates quite a bit. So let's get into it.
Sure. Okay, let's check out the first window when you open the software.
Yeah.
Connected to your Torpedo Captor X.
Do you want to play or do you want me to play?
Yeah. What if I play?
Okay.
My sweet Turley.
So this is what it sounds like now. So we're using one of the presets. I think it's preset number 2, yes, called Stereo Large.
We have turned the largest off. There's a reverb on there, but
actually let's turn everything off for now.
So this is
that's just the well, it is a watt fancy. So I think it's a high watt style 2x12, I think, and we've got a ribbon 160 and a dynamic 57 miking it up, and it sounds like this. Lovely. Now, one of the things that's also new compared to all the other Torpedo stuff and 2 Note stuff is it's in stereo. Mm-hmm. So it's stereo, and it actually has a built-in stereo reverb you can use, which I turned on before. So actually, if you listen to this, maybe a good idea, maybe listen to it with headphones on, or good speakers, just so you can hear what's going on. So let's have a look here at the actual the interface. So you've got to download a software called 2 Notes Torpedo Remote. So all that is it talks to this, and you can make adjustments. You can store everything on here. You don't actually have to have that connected. And with this, I think you can also use an iPad and iPhone. There's like a Bluetooth compatible thing. But especially if you want to use load new cabinets or IRs and stuff like that, it's always good to have it connected.
I'd definitely start when you set it up. Hook it up to your computer.
Yeah.
You can do all your firmware updates and that kind of thing.
All that sort of stuff.
Start there, and then you don't need it for playing live or in studio.
Yeah. So basically, you have your preset windows. If you click on that, these are the presets that are stored on the Torpedo, so on here. And then you can also have extra presets that are stored on your computer. So if you, for example, have multiple devices, you can store it on the computer and then load it to different devices and all that sort of stuff. So at the moment, we're on preset number 2 called Stereo Large. This is sort of the virtual room it's set in, which is one of the new rooms, which is that kind of really ambienty, kind of reverby room. Down at the bottom here, you've got your input level. You've got a gate as well that you can set up with a learn feature, which is, I guess, more for if you heavier kind of music, which we may look at a little bit, but not so much. You've got the 2 different microphones. So here you can go through the different microphones that this particular speaker has, and you can assign 2 different microphones in it, or the same microphone. You can put one around the back, for example, by clicking this, just to get different sounds. You've got the volume controls for each microphone. You can also solo it. So for example, this is bypassing it now, so you can solo the other microphone. You can mute one of the microphones, and you can also reverse the phase for each microphone. And this is sort of you can just grab the actual things here and move them around. And if you look down the bottom, you can sort of see the axis and distance on mic 1 is moving now. But if you want to be more precise, you can actually do it here. If you go, I like my axis to be at 6%.
Absolutely.
And my distance at 31%, you can do it like that. So it's a much more, this is more of a visual thing. Up here, down here, it's more of a
I find like
precise.
31% the perfect number in a tiled room.
Yes, for the distance of a ribbon mic, absolutely. Then here you have your general output. So this is the which you can have it set different from preset to preset as well. Here you have this thing called a twin tracker, which we'll get into a little bit down the track as well, which is sort of basically you can it creates a second. It's like a doubling effect basically that it creates. Okay, up here you have the different cabinets. So these are, at the moment, hang on, if we click on all of that, so now it's all the ones that are available online as well. You go to guitar, these are all the, 1x6, 1x8, 1x10, blah, blah, blah cabinets. The ones that have a little cloud next to it are the ones that you can preview at the store, at the 2-note store, at Le Boutique. The ones that have, and there's not many at the moment, the ones that have that next to it are the ones that are stored on the actual Captor X, and then you've got ones that have a little is there one here that have a little computer there? Well, I can't see any at the moment, but instead of that, the actual Captor X, they have a little computer there, which are the ones stored in your computer. So you can select all different these are all just different types of cabinets you can check out. Then which you can also turn off, so technically you could use different cabinet emulation if you wanted to. I don't know why you'd really want to do that, but anyway. You also have an EQ, which you can turn on and off here, which comes preloaded with certain guitar-related frequencies. There's also a bass setting, but then there's also a custom setting where you can actually completely tailor it to whatever frequencies you want to use. There's the enhancer, which is a bit of a sort of quick on-the-fly overall EQ. So you can have an EQ for each separate preset, but you can also have the enhancer, which is kind of like a if you're playing a live gig and the EQ doesn't quite fit, you can quickly adjust it. It's sort of an overall EQ. Whew, almost there. And then you've got the reverb. Now the reverb, it's basically the different rooms, but then it also has presets. You can use it as an ambience in a room. So room gives it more just a room sound. Ambience adds a reverb to it. And then you have the size, echo, color, width, all that sort of stuff that talks about the actual reverb that you're adding to a digital stereo reverb. And then lastly down here, these 3 knobs are 3 knobs that are actually on the actual Captor X up the front. So you've got the output volume, which you can change. You've got the voicing, which again is a quick EQ change, where it's sort of notched in the middle. If you go to the left, it gives you a more mid-focused sound. If you go right, it gives you a bit more scooped sound. And then you've got space. Space basically adjusts the width of the reverb, or if you click that button down below, you change it to adjust the dry wet mix of the reverb. So that's something you can actually, you have a physical control, so you have control over that in a live situation. Oh, and then you have the output level, overall output level, which you can mute as well. So there's tons to it. And very quick, I know there's a lot of talking, but you kind of got to talk about this stuff. Up the top, that goes away. Up the top here, you have an IR loader. So this is where you would, if you have third-party IRs, you can load them there. You've got your cabinet manager, which you can store. You have a certain amount of cabs you can store on here, and this is where you can load them and unload them. You also have a preset manager, so this gives you all. This is the list of presets. You have a lot, 128 that you can store on here, and you have 6 that are recallable from the front of the device. But it is MIDI compatible.
And you get a fancy little MIDI cable adapter thing.
So, for example,
That's cool.
if you so choose, I mean, I don't know why you would necessarily want that, but you could connect that to, for example, a loop switcher that you have that has MIDI compatibilities, and you could literally, for every single thing you do, you can have a different preset. So, you know, for every song, every bit in every song, you could have a different cabinet preset, which is a little bit overkill in my opinion, but if that's what you want to do, you can do that.
That could be a thing.
Yes. So that's it. Oh, and then lastly, you've got the IR manager, that's basically where you decide where on your computer you store your IRs, and then you can connect. These are external third-party IRs. So we've got some Celestion Plus IRs here that we're going to look into later on as well. And Virtual Cabinet is basically this.
Very cool. So should we check out some presets that come with the unit?
Let's check out some presets. So after all the talking, let's make some sounds. So let's start off with, why not go Torpedo 1 Heavy Dry. Let's just quickly run through a few and then make up a sound that we like.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
So the was this Heavy Dry preset?
Heavy Dry. So this is a kerosene cabinet.
That's a word.
Which sounds
kerosene.
Heavy.
Kerosene.
A kerosene, and you've got a Ribbon 160 microphone and a Dynamic 57. There's EQ. Not that there's anything really happening with the EQ, but it's on. You've got an enhancer, which is set to bass for some reason, and you've got reverb. So this is what it sounds like. For example, quickly, what I'm going to do, so I've got this voicing switch up the front here. I'll just quickly go through that.
Sure.
Just to show you what it sounds like. So I'm going to move it on here, but you can see it move on the screen as well. So that's that. So it kind of gives you a quick option on here as you're playing live. Maybe you want to, you want a little bit more mid-forward, depending on the room. You can just quickly adjust that. Also, so for example, this particular preset, we're not on the ambient setting, we're on the room setting. So all you hear is a little bit of the room sound. So it's just some kind of air from the room. You can flick that to ambient. And now... with ambient, you actually get a reverb added to it, a stereo reverb added to it. Okay, next preset. Let's just run through a few and see how we go. So stereo large is the one we just had before.
I like this one. This is cool.
Yeah. That sounds great. Let's try actually that. Let's add the twin tracker to that and see. So what it basically does is it takes your signal and puts it onto one side of the stereo image and creates another bit that's slightly different EQ'd, and I think maybe even delayed a little bit.
Slightly, yeah.
So let's see what that sounds like. Embiggens the sound. All right, let's check a few more. So we've got long stereo reverb.
Ooh, looks like a twinny thing.
That's nice. Let's see how big can we make this reverb.
Make it extra large. Large?
Extra large.
Large?
Yeah.
So it's a word.
Exactly. There's a lot of reverb there if you want it. It sounds really nice. It's actually nice, quite a nice reverb.
Good quality reverb.
Twin tracker.
Does that, kind of double track guitar effect thing.
Okay, well let's have a look if there's something else. What about fat, clean tone humbuckers?
Oh, that looks like me.
Oh, that's a plate reverb room.
Oh, cool.
Blip, 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 blip. I don't know if I call that a spring reverb, but it sounds good.
It's not spring, but it's pretty.
Yeah, let's try tile. Oh, look at the bathroom. Love.
It's nicer than my bathroom.
I like those. I always like the picture of the rooms. The loft. I love the look of the loft.
Yeah.
And that bathroom's cool.
We should go live at
Guillaume's place. I wonder if that's Guillaume's house. Is it? I wonder it's all pictures of his house.
Send us a photo. No bathroom. No, don't do it.
That's cool. That's got like echo
Flutterness
within it. So, and that's only the room sounds. If you now go to ambiance, does it make a difference? Massive.
Cavernous.
That's great. The reverbs sound really, really cool on this, I've got to say. What about another one? Pistol Punk Rhythm. Go. That's you. Hang on. Give you some more gain.
Oh, thanks, yeah.
There you go. You are a pistol punk kind of guy.
Whatever that was.
What about Sparkly Tropical Clean?
Oh, I like Tropical Clean.
Who doesn't?
This sounds like pineapples.
Yes.
Except the amp's not clean.
Let's give it some more cleanage. Now, should we try and make you a preset that you like?
Mad sick piece.
Mad sick. Okay, so let's start off. Let's turn all this stuff off. What kind of cabinet would you like? Would you like a? Let's actually now look just at what you've got, not what's a totally. Would you like a 1x12? See there, you can see the computer thing. So that's on the thing that's on the computer. 1x12, 2x12, 4x10, 4x12, or a mixed one, or the one that's a massive one. It's a 15 and a 12.
That's crazy. Let's not do that. That's too crazy for me.
Okay, well, which one would you like?
What about a full? Can we have two?
No, only one.
Let's go a. Should we go 1x12?
1x12?
See if we can get a.
Do you want the BE Deluxe, B Deluxe, California C90, Randall RD112, or a Vibro V30?
Vibro V30.
Vibro V30. Okay, well there you go.
Oh,
That's like a Vibrolux kind of thing.
Yep.
Now,
Should we have a quick listen? See if it.
let's have a quick listen now.
Oh, the twin track is on. That's.
Twin track. Okay, let's turn
I thought
the
it
twin
sounded
tracker
a
off. Okay.
latency or something.
Yeah.
It was actually delay. That's pretty.
That sounds good. Okay, so now mic-wise, we've got a 57,
Yeah.
but you can have a Nightfall, a condenser 87, a Ribbon 121, Ribbon 160, Dynamic 421, Dynamic 57, Dynamic Bass 20, Bass 52.
I don't know what a Nightfall is, but it sounds cool.
So should we keep one maybe 57 and the other one a Nightfall? Let's see what that sounds like. So this is, hang on, this is just a Nightfall now.
Sounds like a ribbon of some sort. It's kind of darker, hey?
Yeah. Well, what do these two sound? So that's a bit further away, and a 57's right smack back on it.
That's pretty cool.
So
I like it.
have it around the back.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the 57 in the front and a Nightfall around the back.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay, do you want an EQ or should we leave the EQ?
I think we'll leave it at this point.
Should we check the enhancer?
Sure.
Let's see if we can enhance you.
Oh, please. About time.
Sounds all right?
Pretty cool.
Okay, would you like some reverb or just some room ambiance?
Let's go some reverb.
Reverb?
Yeah.
Now, where would you like to be? Would you like to be... I thought Spring sounded really cool, actually, yeah.
I feel like it's slightly bright.
But we can EQ it out with the, I guess the enhancer is kind of the same sort of thing. Before I had a voicing just ever so slightly to the left, so ever so slightly maybe more mid.
Sure.
Is that okay? Like that?
It's pretty cool, yeah.
You like that?
Start with that.
Do we want more space? See, I think especially for the studio, probably if you set it so that becomes your dry wet mix, so you don't have to have a computer connected. You can just turn a reverb off if you want. Do you like that?
Pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then all we can do is we can say we want to save this. And let's say we want to save this to, what would you like to call it?
Alex Tropical Clean.
Really? Oh, Alex is Tropical. Okay.
Yeah.
And press save. And then that should be now saved to number 1 on here. Once it happens. Saving preset. Yeah, I think because we're doing a screen grab, that always does funny stuff to computers. So,
yeah.
All right, so now let's maybe look at using third-party IRs. Why not? So you can go into your IR loader here. And these are ones we've already loaded in before, but let's see. So these are some we've got. Actually, let's do it in here. It's probably easier. Mm-hmm. So let's say one of the combinations I quite like at my place. I use this high gain 121 and 57. Oh, this is a 4x12. Sorry, there's only 4x10. Where is it? This one. On one side, and the Angle XXL with vintage 30s on the other side. So now these are two different cabinets that are the IRs that are basically loaded into that. Which do you want? Do you want to play?
Do you want to play with
I'll play. So and I'm going to play with this lovely Fano Omnis MG6, which sounds a little like this. So that's now going through that. On one side, basically, you've got the Angle XXL cabinet. On the other side, you've got the Greenback 4x10. And I should also mention there's an affiliate link below if you want to buy some Celestion Plus IRs. I mean, all the two notes ones are awesome. But if you do want to buy third-party IRs, there's a link below. So now we can do the same thing with this. So we can now you can blend them. So you can say you want a little bit more, you want a little bit less of one or the other. So you can still use the room sounds in that, and the reverbs and everything, and even the twin tracker and everything. You're just using, instead of having their cabinets where you can actually move the mics around, you have preset IR. That's like a slapback. It's a very roomy sound, but it's cool. Give me some more gain. I need some more gain.
So here's the thing with this stuff. I found it makes you kind of get out of your comfort zone and use, especially for recording, use sounds you probably wouldn't gravitate towards. Like, even if you do have a couple of cabinets, you might not put them in different spaces or move the mics back. You might just leave your mic set up on your cabinet or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And this way, you can experiment with a whole different bunch of sounds. And even if you've got just your one little pedal board, you can get a whole array of sounds for layering guitar tones and getting different layers like that way.
And like I said, you can, if you really, really wanted to, because it's MIDI compatible, you can really get into it. So you can use the sounds in here. You can use the room sounds. You can use the delays. Well, not delays, but like that's kind of delay, that reverbs, all that stuff. You can use that in there as part of your pedal board almost, if you so desire. So this is, what is that? The Crypt. Guillaume's bathroom. That's from now on, it'll always be Guillaume's bathroom. Some scoopty now.
So I favoured the 4x12 over the 4x10, and then took the voice into more this mid-range scoop side, and then
The more modern side,
instantly different tones.
And then what we need a hard gate.
Yeah.
Maybe less hard. But the noise is gone instantly. It's a good gate. And you can do the learn fun. Let's learn the gate. I'll mute your strings. It's too much. Less gate.
My
Ah!
Oh.
I mean, it's not high again. For this, I would just go a soft gate. Because it does get rid of the hum of the P90s.
Yeah.
When you stop playing. I quite like it. I've got on my Angle Powerball, it has a built-in gate. And I quite like having it on a little bit because it means when you stop playing, you don't have to turn the volume down all the time. And you don't get that noise.
So then, now I've gone the other way, so favouring the 410 over the 412, and then take the voicing to the mid side.
That's like Brian May kind of. Twin track me with that. That's a lovely reverb. That's a nice reverb.
Smooth, eh?
So I mean, that's just to give you an idea. So you can use third-party IRs if you so desire, but still use all the other cool stuff on it, like the twin tracker, the enhancer, the reverb, and all that stuff. And I mean, you can then, if you wanted to, again, same thing. You just save it to a preset you want to save it to. All right, so that's the Torpedo Captor X. So like I said, it's a load box. So this whole time there was no cabinet connected to it. We've had the amp plugged straight into this. It's an attenuator for it as well if you wanted to use it. You can also use it for headphone practice. So there's a headphone out in the back as well.
Handy.
You can use it as an IR loader for third-party IRs, but I mean, not necessarily needed because you've got tons of their own 2 notes cabinets in there, which are really, really cool. Stereo reverb, almost like slapback delay kind of thing you've got going on in there. So it's tons of stuff you can do with it. Store presets, MIDI compatible, so you can change, if you so desire, cabinets for different sounds, if you use a loop switcher, for example.
Yeah.
I know I watched a thing ages ago. Pete Thorne was talking about how he used the Torpedo Live.
That's right.
Live.
I remember that too, yeah.
He used the Torpedo Live. And he had, because he always uses MIDI switches, and he had a different cabinet for his drive sounds, and a different, I think it was a 4x12 with vintage 30s for his lead sound, and a 4x12 with, I don't know, greenbacks for his rhythm sound, and a 2x12 with something else as his clean sound.
But that's, running, say, 3 or 4 rather than 128. But you can do 128 if you want
Up to 128, yeah. And
Yeah.
so you've got up to 6 you can store up the front. It can change. So, you know, maybe different gigs. Maybe you're playing a death metal band on weeknights, but then you're playing in a corporate jazz band on weekends.
Yeah.
You can bring your same angle head and you know, have a different preset for the metal and a different preset for the jazz.
Might scare the jazz
Yes.
players though.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for hanging out. This is it's going to be a whole bunch of more videos as you'll see in the future.
Yeah.
And links below to our Instagram, Facebook group chat, and our podcast. You can
Yes,
check it all below in a Linktree link. And any questions and comments below, I'll try and get to them all. And thanks for hanging.
And big thank you once again to the awesome people at 2 Notes and Innovative Music here in Australia. And big thank you to the man himself, Mr. Guillaume from Le 2 Notes. Le thank you.
Merci.
Le merci. Le au revoir.
See ya.